a really interesting paper, and one thing that's perhaps missing is how we practicalize this. And I wanted to share, and how the context is missing a little bit, but I wanted to share some examples from Sierra Leone, actual real live examples. So the presentation from Pula, for example, on all the issues that they were recommending government does, in Sierra Leone we're doing it. So last week we just launched a major financing opportunity with the central bank, where we made about $10 million available for farmers and private sector to access at single-digit interest rate. Embedded within that was an insurance scheme as well. And obviously we're working with private sector in Sierra Leone to not just bring inputs back into the country, but also to do investment, and then engaging with SMEs. So there's real practice of this that's happening. So what I was hoping for is how we can then find these examples that are being done, and this money is all locally raised from the government. It's not that we have lots of money, as many of the people said they are competing interests. So how do we support governments that have demonstrated this? It's not the first time we're doing it. We did it during COVID as well, made some monies available through the central bank. A second thing that I wanted to mention was just last week, as the politician in the room that the vice chair was talking about, I did host a meeting across sector on cattle herders and farming, and the conflict between cattle rearers and the community. Now, the reason why these conflicts are increasing is because of climate change. Rain and water, because deforestation is happening, is not there. So the rivers that flowed longer into the year are drier earlier. So these cattle herders have to go somewhere to find water for their cattle, and they pollute and contaminate water. There's also the issue with agriculture and farming that has to exist. So these monies, these insurance schemes that we're talking about, have to be directed to the developing countries because, and the final point that I want to make about this, look, countries in Europe don't have as many forest cover as we have in Sierra Leone and on the continent. And yet, the insurance, which we should be getting to invest in developments, to make the roads, to make the water, to make the energy for our people, we have to go through lots and lots of loopholes and consultants that are from the West again to be paid to bring this money back to the continent. And we pay by then keeping our forests alive for sequestering, but the farmers in Netherlands are being subsidized by the Dutch government to grow onions that are sent back into our markets, meaning our farmers cannot grow onions. So we have to not just speak about these things hypothetically, we have to be practical, because it's about people's lives all across the continent, and the solutions are there. We have to face them within the context, and that means cutting the red tape. The consultants need not come from New York and Brussels. The consultants can't come from Abuja and can't come from Nairobi, and the monies that are being pledged from COP and in these rooms must be on the ground for the farmers. So I think maybe the paper is excellent, and it situates it really well. And I hope that the next things that come out of this will be practical solutions for how we ensure that we protect our climate, and our countries where these forests are, we don't get double punished again because now we have to keep the forests, and we don't get the money anyway, and the insurance is not there, and our farmers suffer. Thank you very much.